Okay, so we are about to bring in DJ Matt Epicentre, who is the artist behind our brand new release on Terpsichord, which of course is The Bells. And we'll be talking to him very soon about the release, about his world. So please do stick around. This could be a very interesting 10 or 15 minutes. Please do hold tight. And of course we'll be straight back to the music after that, and we will be raiding out round about 8 o'clock to Matt, who's streaming this evening. So bringing him in straight in. Good evening, Matt Epicentre.
Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Dakeynites, and thank you very much for the pleasure of remixing and re-releasing The Bells, of course, the classic track, which I remember back in the day from years ago, and I never knew it was your tune, Paul, because it was a pseudonym, obviously.
That's right, yeah. You didn't know it was me, did you?
No, exactly. And it took me aback. I was like, oh, wow. It's a bit like discovering you've got a secret identity, like a superhero. But, yeah, so...
superhero, that's me all the way.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So we'll come to The Bells very soon, Matt. But just want to give the Twitch family who's listening a little bit of background about yourself as a DJ, producer, a streamer as well, and a little bit about the Epicast. So give us a bit about the genesis of Matt Epicentre from your normal name to your artist name.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a journey probably over several decades. I probably started sort of producing as Epicentre. I did a demo track in the mid-90s, and randomly I called it Earthquake in Eden. And because it said earthquake in the name, I thought Epicentre was a nice sort of like linkage to that name, and also the resonance of it being sound waves and everything. It sort of went from there. And it was very sort of simply made. It was done with very simple technology, but over the years I've progressed on to more and more equipment to the extent now where my studio is like Darth Vader's bathroom. It's got so much kit in there and everything, but yeah, the essence of it has always been music rather than visual. I mean, the Epicast now, it's very much an interactive audio visual platform where it's as much about what you can see as what you can hear. But musically, probably over the last sort of like 15 years, I've produced and collaborated with a lot of different artists. I've released probably about 2 or 3 albums. The first of which started off as an EP, just maybe about 3 or 4 tracks of my own. And through the power of social media, it actually became very much a collaborative international project with about sort of like maybe 9 or 10 different nationalities and producers and artists right across the world. And from that, through the power of social media, the power of like local sort of DJing and things like that, it's gone on. We've obviously met through lockdown and the platform that Twitch became, where you could sort of like meet and collaborate with different people, and through that, obviously you make connections, and we did that, and it's been a pleasure to meet you, Paul, and obviously work with you on this debut release.
That's great. Yeah, we did actually meet during lockdown, didn't we? We kept our safe distance and. We did catch up then, so that was very pleasurable to connect with you then, and I think a lot of us connected during that kind of space we had during lockdown, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it's something about Hull as well. There's like a sort of like a local thriving sort of community of Twitch DJs and other DJs, etc. That we've huddled around here. There's a selection down south that I know, but there's also a select as well. So
there is a very strong whole community as well. You mentioned that you've been doing this literally for 15 years. So when did the Epicast appear in that sort of production journey? When did that audio visual spectacular appear? Because that's what it is.
Yeah, it's 1st of April 2017. I just got some new turntables. And one of my friends suggested I should put a podcast together and, showcase new music, and not just my own sort of music, but generally things that I like. and it was literally just point and click with a Facebook Live. And that was the technology that I had probably for about the first year or so. Around the time Twitch started, I moved on to OBS, started using different sort of visual software, to the point now I've got a sort of like a walkthrough studio, sort of tutorial walkthrough, where I go through all of the different equipment that I've got. But I've got about 4 or 5 laptops, about 3 different turntables. I use keyboards as well, sometimes to live, do live keyboard jamming over the top. And yeah, it's pretty intense. But yeah, the actual finished product, which is the fun part, that probably takes up a fraction of the time. It's all about the preparation, Paul, as you well know. But by the end of it, it's obviously it's great to share it, and it's something for posterity beyond just the live stream.
Correct, yeah. And what I really do love is periodically when you do these kind of themes, either the football thing, the Pete Tong thing, you pick a certain style. So you do those quite regularly, don't you?
Yeah. I branch out. Altered States is one that's quite fun as well, because you've done similar things in the past, but basically it's taking well-known tracks but playing different remixes of it, maybe putting bootlegs together so you can recognise elements of it, but it's something new. But I do like doing stuff like that and just messing around. And obviously I've done a lot of different bootleg remixes. I'm still very much a producer as much as a streamer. And yeah, obviously this is showcasing the new track on the Terpsichord label.
Cool. And we're talking obviously about, I guess you're more than a DJ when you do the Epicast for sure, but do you have a history of club DJing as well?
Yeah, I've been a DJ. I was a resident DJ years ago. There was a bar in George Street that I used to be a resident DJ of, long since gone by. But I've also DJed quite a bit at the Old Schoolhouse, which is a club in Hull. I was a resident DJ there. Yeah, I was a resident DJ there probably for about 2 or 3 years, just before lockdown. And it was probably sort of like getting to the sweet spot where lockdown hit, and then obviously everyone goes onto Twitch, and from there it's sort of like taken off on the platform that it is. So
yeah, excellent. So let's talk about the bells. I mean, there is a question in the chat from DJ Lincoln Biggs. When did you first hear the bells? Just let's quickly answer that one.
Yeah, I'm years and years ago. I've got I played the FIFA game, obviously with the football connection, and I remember it being on the soundtrack to, I think it was FIFA 02 or FIFA 2000.
Yeah, that's it.
Something like that. And it was always there in the back of my mind. I remember it, and it's sort of like the memories were there. And then it was actually at the celebration of Sean Kay's life, where we were talking about general things, and it's nice that actually Sean, in a weird way, has actually been part of putting this production together. So that's a nice sort of community remembrance of the legend that was Sean. But we were talking, and you suggested perhaps that I'd potentially like to get involved and try and remix it and see what I could do with it, and it went from there really. So it was all through that conversation probably about a year ago, something like that.
Yeah, well, the conversation would have been. Has it been nearly 2 years since Sean left us?
I thought it was last year. I don't know, but it feels like he's still around, very much still around. But
yes, yes, it was last year. It seems like a long time because we miss him so much, I think, really. So but yes, his influence touched us all. We do love him dearly. What happened really for me when, so basically everybody in the chat, so Matt went away, and I said, basically I gave Matt carte blanche, said do what you feel, and we were talking remix, weren't we, Matt? Well, that was the word that we were using originally. Just put this back on. But what happened was Matt took the parts away and came back and delivered this track. I mean, we did a couple of tweaks together to sort of finalise where we wanted it, but it quickly became apparent to me, Matt, and everybody in the chat, that this was more than just a remix. What Matt had done is totally reimagined the track and taken it to another level. And coincidentally, it's funny how things happen in a kind of a serendipitous timeline, is that I'd discovered a kind of a lost treasure of 20-odd-year-old archived data disc, which had a lot of early Terpsichord stuff on that never got released due to X, Y, and Z within the industry. Doesn't matter why. So I was kind of quite energized with, wouldn't it be fantastic to sort of revisit the Terpsichord vibe, which for me was my darker, harder, tougher side of production. And it all tied in with meeting Matt and talking about the bells and him delivering what he delivered. And it just became obvious to me, with what I had a vision for the future, is that I relaunched Terpsichord. I made the movements towards that, found a new designer, fantastic designer called Mike Speedy, who really helped us there. Matt delivered this production, and even, you know, DJs like Sunny X, who, believe me, is one very hard to impress dude, flipped over this. With the reaction to the original bells time we dropped it was insane, absolutely incredible. So really for me, I said to Matt, I said, look, I'm going to relaunch Terpsichord. I want this to be the first release, and I want you to be the artist, which I think took you a little bit by surprise, Matt.
Yeah, it was, like I say, it's an honor. I mean, you know, Terpsichord is a brand new label. It's an honor in itself, but to be the first artist on it is doubly pleasurable from my side. But yeah, thank you for that, Paul.
You're more than welcome. It's well deserved. So yes, we got everything together, and the bells was mastered by our dear friend Conan. We played it, we smashed it for quite a while, get a vibe on it, but then we locked it down. Both Matt and I actually locked it down and didn't play it for a while. With the release pending. It took a while to get it out the door, but we eventually did it. It was released last Friday. Both Matt and I were otherwise engaged, so we couldn't celebrate this and have this conversation till today. But the link will be in the chat. If you follow the link, you can stream and download the track. It's a Beatport exclusive, but it should be on most of your popular streaming platforms. So yeah, it's available now. The bells, Terpsichord, DJ Matt Epicentre. So Matt, we have obviously need to look at a follow-up single, and also you and I are chatting about, you know, revisiting some of your former remixes for some other projects as well, maybe on Master Mix. So we've got a lot of production talk to have in the future. So what else, you know, what aside from that, what else is in the near future for Matt Epicentre as the artist, the producer, the remixer, and the streamer?
Yeah, I've always got a bank of tracks that sort of maybe half finished development hell or whatever, that never quite get finished off, and I've got a bank of those that I'm trying to finish off. I know
haven't we all, Matt?
Yeah. So I am working on several tracks. I've got a whole raft of ideas for new projects that I think we've spoken about a few elements of it, but there's always I'm always on the lookout for new ideas, and if I hear samples or I hear a riff or something, I've got sort of riffs of old tracks that have never had like a contemporary sort of rework that I want to work on, and I will work on. One of the tracks that I finished off about a couple of years ago, I'd actually had the riff for about 30 years, an old disco track, and I completely reworked it. So I've got all sorts of like different projects like that I'm always on the lookout for, and obviously with the Terpsichord label, I'm looking forward to working with you again and watching with pleasure as other artists are on the label as well, and seeing where the label goes. It's exciting times, Paul.
Thank you for that. Yes, it is indeed, and we have got some great artists lined up for the future, and looking forward to the next Epicentre release as well. And you're talking about that bank full of that data bank of archive stuff from the past 20 odd years. There's a few folders I'd like to throw your way and just go catch, Matt, do what you want with it. You know, you might come up with something amazing. So kick me, remind me to send you that stuff anyway. So okay, well listen, it's been fantastic to chat. Everybody please in the chat, please do check out the link where you can download and stream the first release on the brand new resurfaced, relaunched Terpsichord label from Matt Epicentre. The track's called The Bells. We're going to play the video, which has been done by VJ DJ Stu Mountain. I'm going to play that right away, so please do enjoy it. Matt Epicentre, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to what's coming from you in the future, man.
Yeah, and I'll see you on the other side, Paul. I'll see you all in the raid in about 3/4 of an hour.
Yeah, we'll be raiding out to see you round about just before 8 o'clock, so we'll see you soon. Take care. Thank you, Matt.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.